Thousands of years before our towns and cities rose, people in the plain between two rivers pressed signs into soft clay. They wrote with a sharpened reed, leaving behind marks shaped like small wedges. We call this intricate script Cuneiform. The people who invented it are known to us as the Sumerians. They lived in southern Mesopotamia, in a land that is now modern-day Iraq, building the world's first civilizations from river mud. Human ingenuity. Today, we gaze upon their surviving clay tablets, small, hardened pieces of the distant past. And now, new tools are helping us to read their ancient marks once more, including the quiet power of artificial intelligence, bridging an immense gap in time. This is the profound meeting of two vastly different ages: ancient clay, modern code. So who were the Sumerians? They flourished more than 4,000 years ago, in the Fertile Crescent between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. They are credited with building some of the first true cities: Uruk, Eridu. These were not mere villages, sprawling urban centers, monumental temples, massive defensive walls, complex social structures. They engineered vast networks of irrigation canals. Canals transformed arid plains into bountiful farmland. Surplus allowed specialization and innovation. Their achievements laid the groundwork for later developments. They developed sophisticated mathematics, a base 60 system. Base 60 echoes today in our measurement of time in circles. They used this knowledge for tracking trade and for charting the movements of the stars and planets. They were early astronomers mapping the heavens, developing the first zodiac. They established formal legal codes, contracts, property, justice. And most importantly, they invented writing, to record laws, to record history, to record business transactions. At the heart of their society were the temple libraries. Scribes were among the most educated and respected members of society. They learned the complex art of cuneiform, a stylus made from a reed, a tray of wet clay, pressing wedge-shaped marks into the clay. To create a permanent record, they would write on a tablet and then leave it to dry in the sun or bake it in a kiln. While papyrus and parchment have rotted away, these baked clay records have survived. Many tablets were the equivalent of receipts, memos, and letters. Yet their survival gives us an intimate glimpse into the past. Some were discarded, used as landfill, or buried in the rubble of a collapsed building. Some were burned in fires and became more durable. Many thousands, whole and in fragments, now wait in the quiet, dark drawers of museums, each a potential key to understanding a moment of life from long ago. Imagine the sounds and motions of daily life in a bustling Sumerian city. People moved through the narrow, winding streets, their voices echoing off the walls. Down by the river, flat-bottomed boats poled through the reeds, carrying grain, carrying wool, carrying imported lumber from distant lands. In the marketplaces, traders would haggle over the price of copper, tin, precious lapis lazuli. The air was filled with the clang of a metalworker's hammer, and the steady scraping of a potter shaping jars and bowls. Life was tied to the rhythms of the rivers and the seasons. Outside the walls, farmers guided plows, planted, harvested. The irrigation canals were the city's lifeline, a testament to collective engineering. Within the city, specialized craftspeople were essential. Weavers created textiles. Carpenters built furniture and boats. Brewers made the beer that was a staple. In courtyards, families ground grain, cooked over open fires, and shared stories. Children learned a trade at a parent's side, or, if fortunate, attended a scribal school, an aduba. A stern teacher guided them through hundreds of signs. The act of writing was woven into the fabric of society. Scribes were indispensable. The accountants, the lawyers, the historians, the administrators of their time. A simple toolkit, styluses with different tips, and carefully prepared wet clay. Many were everyday receipts, memos, and letters. Never meant to last, yet they did. Each survival is an intimate glimpse into ordinary lives. In the Sumerian worldview, the universe was alive with divine forces. The world was governed by a vast and powerful pantheon. These deities are often referred to in the ancient texts as the Anunnaki. In the old stories, the Anunnaki were the high gods who lived in the heavens, on the earth, and even in the underworld. They were tied to sky, air, water, and earth, arbiters of fate and givers of laws. Anu, distant god of the heavens. Enlil, lord of wind and air, granter of kingship. Enki, clever god of fresh water and wisdom. Inanna, queen of heaven, love, fertility, warfare. Their names recur in hymns, in prayers, and in epic myths. These stories form the core of Sumerian religion and culture. The myths explained creation, the ordering of society, the changing seasons, and the devastating floods that threatened Mesopotamia. The gods traded power, argued, and intervened in human affairs, to punish or to bless. When we read these texts, we're reading a system of belief. The Anunnaki are figures of myth and religion, not historical fact. Over time, modern imagination transformed divine beings into visitors from the stars. A modern school, ancient astronaut theories, reimagines the Anunnaki as extraterrestrial visitors from another planet. In this retelling, the heavens become outer space, divine powers, advanced technology. It is vital to state this clearly. This ancient alien narrative is a modern story, not a conclusion supported by archaeological or textual evidence. Reading the actual tablets, we must separate what the Sumerians wrote from later speculation. Original sources describe divine beings, sacred rites, celestial omens, not spacecraft, laser weapons, or genetic engineering. The evidence points to human minds, making sense of their world through religion and myth, not documenting a visit from another world. The tablets are fascinating enough without needing to add spaceships. Today we are adding another powerful tool to the long list of instruments used to study the past. This new tool is artificial intelligence. It operates not with a brush or a pickaxe, but with algorithms and data. Machines are learning to see the subtle patterns etched into clay. They scan complex grooves, match symbols with speed, and compare a sign against vast libraries. They suggest readings where signs are damaged, even reconstructing missing words from broken tablets. This is not science fiction, it is real, patient work by dedicated teams around the globe. Models are trained on thousands of expert-identified signs. The machine learns wedge patterns for each character. There are many more tablets than trained readers. AI becomes transformative. An AI can sort thousands of texts, identifying names, dates, commodities, revealing economic trends invisible one tablet at a time. A single epic may be shattered and scattered. Algorithms analyze fragment shapes, handwriting styles, and text content. They search global databases to find pieces from opposite sides of the world that once belonged together. The machine calculates probabilities and suggests fits. The final judgment is always human. Projects have reunited fragments and restored damaged signs on literary texts, leading to improved translations. Progress is steady and incremental. Small details can reshape a treaty, a ritual, a historical event. As we stand at this new dawn of discovery, we are preparing to hear the voices of the earliest writers in human history. It is a moment of subtle wonder, a quiet revolution in our connection to the past. One of the most significant revolutions is the creation of large-scale digital libraries. Once, a scholar had to travel to London, Paris, Philadelphia. Access was limited, and comparisons were slow and costly. Now, high-resolution surrogates are online, meticulously cataloged with provenance, date, and, where possible, transcription and translation. Short. Scholar rotating a 3D model and adjusting light to reveal faint marks. Shared digital infrastructure becomes the foundation for AI tools and larger, standardized data sets. A scholar in Tokyo can analyze tablets housed in Berlin. Collaboration accelerates discovery. So, what texts await? Many are mundane, simple administrative and economic records. They list grain, heads of livestock, days of labor, sales of land, and letters between merchants, families, and officials. Legal agreements, marriage and inheritance, and lexical lists, the encyclopedias that trained young scribes. Each is a small, authentic window into daily life. History is also destruction. Cities burned, archives like Nineveh sacked and shattered, voices silenced. We remember other legendary losses: songs, tales, scientific treatises, historical accounts, gone forever. Every surviving tablet is an invaluable thread. Each new reading, each reconnected fragment, helps rejoin a tattered cloth of history. Our questions must be careful and grounded. Trade routes, festivals, justice, without romanticizing the past. At night, in a dim and quiet room, ancient tablets rest. A scholar leans forward in the soft glow. A line of cuneiform comes into focus. Its translation appears beneath it. A program highlights a damaged section and suggests a missing sign. A small discovery is made. Quiet, incremental, deeply personal. A better reading of a treaty. The correct spelling of a forgotten king. A more precise date. This work demands humility. Mark what is certain and what is guesswork. Machine fills are suggestions, not facts. Does a reading fit grammar and context? Align with similar texts? Good scholarship is cautious and honest about limits. We can close by thinking of sound. The clay tablets were never truly silent. They held the voices of scribes, priests, merchants, and kings, prices of grain, the will of the gods, the deeds of heroes, the positions of stars. With gentle light and complex code, we begin to hear them once more. In the silence of ancient clay, humanity may finally be learning how to listen again.